Good afternoon, and greetings from Trinity Central here. This is my office at Trinity United Methodist Church, and just wanted to spend a couple minutes with you midweek here. It's actually Thursday afternoon, about 1:40. This is April 2nd. Cannot believe how the days are going by here in this new reality that we're in with the coronavirus and the quarantines and all that. Please do be careful. I just want to start off by saying that plenty of guidelines out there, and the guidelines seem to be getting more and more strict. But if you're listening to the right folks, you'll understand that this is very important, regardless of what age you are. This is very important that we all work together to push this virus down. So anyway, I just thought I'd take a couple minutes this week and talk about what it means to be the church, even while we're at home. So what is it that we can do to be the church, to support others, to encourage others throughout this very difficult time? And I just want to talk to you about a few things that you can do that will help, and a few ways to be the church during this time. First of all, we need to be plugged into God. If we're not plugged in, we're missing the whole boat here, because it's God directing our lives that helps us to live out a Christ-like life and a Christian life. And if we're not connected and plugged into God, then we're missing one very important step. And so one of the things you can do to be the church at home is develop a quiet time with God. Develop a new habit. We've got plenty of time to do that. And I know many of you are home cleaning your closets, cleaning your basement, cleaning the garage, doing things like this. So while you're at it, make sure you set up a little space somewhere in your home. And I've showed you my table in the basement before. The place where I sit and have alone time with God, and you can do the same in your home too. But take time to not only set up a space, but to develop a quiet time with God. So time for some Bible study, time for some prayer. This is where our direction comes from. And quite frankly, folks, these are the days that remind us just how not in control we are of our lives. And but God, again, is not surprised at what's going on right now. I believe God wants us to learn some things through this. And I believe if we're listening, we can. So one, just set up that quiet time with God and get at it. If that's something you've been hearing from me for the last almost 5 years, and other pastors too, but have never taken the time to do it, what are you waiting for? Now's the time. Spend that special time with God and learn to do that daily. The other thing you can do to be the church at home is to pray over the weekly needs of our congregation. Today, an email went out from Jessica and I, just kind of updating you with where we're at this week and a few things. And we have a couple of attachments. And one of the attachments to that email that went out is a current prayer list. This is something that we've got people calling in or emailing us and updating us on their prayer concerns. And we're trying to keep this updated weekly. And so take a look at that prayer list, print it off, use it during your quiet time. That's something that you can do to be the church at home, is to pray for those who are going through maybe a time that's tougher than what you're going through right now. And you don't have to look too far to find that. So do remember these folks in your prayers if you would. And the final thing is this, and this is something a little different. I've never asked people to do this before. I've done it myself. I've had some ministry teams that have helped do this. But I'm asking the whole congregation to maybe take a moment before Easter here and write a quick note or a little card to one of our shut-ins or to our shut-ins here at the church. The other attachment to the email today is a current shut-in list for us. And so take a look at that shut-in list. If you know somebody particularly well, make sure that you send a card to them or drop a note. Or maybe even some that you don't know. Take a moment to do that. Be in ministry to those people who really can't have contact with anyone except the staff right now. I've talked to friends who've got loved ones in the nursing home right now, and the only way they can be in contact is either by phone or by some kind of mail that would be mailed into the place. But there's no passing of flowers. There's no anything going into the nursing home around this Easter time. And so please just know that you can write a note, and you've got their addresses there, so I'll leave that to you. But that's one of the things you can pray about when you're having your quiet time there in your home, and being the church there in your home, is to use this time to reach out to others who, sometimes we overlook, sometimes we don't pay enough attention to. But these folks who are shut-ins, they have been the church for us in the past. They are the reason we have a church today and have that local community of faith. So do keep these things in mind, at least 2 or 3 things that you can do to be the church at home. And I think they're good for all of us and will help us to be a stronger church, whether it's today or in the months to come. And so these are things we can do. Let me share with you one of my favorite Psalms today. I just want to do a short reading from Psalm 61. And speaking of prayer time and using this as prayer time, I want you to use this maybe as a prayer at home. So look this up in your own Bible, mark it, and say, you know what, this is a prayer I could pray every day or once a week or however you want to do it, especially during this time of quarantine of the coronavirus pandemic. But Psalm 61 in the first 4 verses, that's about half that psalm, just really speak to my heart, and I hope they speak to yours too. Let's kind of pray this together as I close today, but this is Psalm 61 and beginning with verse 1. And this is a psalm of David. So David prays this way. This are the words to his psalm. O God, listen to my cry. Hear my prayer. From the ends of the earth I cry to you for help. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the towering rock of safety. For you are my safe refuge, a fortress where my enemies, including the coronavirus, cannot reach me. Let me live forever in your sanctuary, safe beneath the shelter of your wings. Folks, that is my prayer for all of you, for myself, for my family included. But let's be the church at home. Wherever we're at, let's be the church, but let's especially be the church at home these days. And thank you for being a part of this. We'll talk to you real soon.